You are a cab driver working a night shift in Paris. You have to. You're working your job every day, like carting people around, picking up fares, delivering them. But you're. I'm guessing you're going to be talking to these people as you're traveling, and trying to get piece of information out of them to try to help solve this case and find a serial killer. It should be pretty. It should be pretty interesting. It's it's definitely a different take on a different way to engage this sort of game. You know, there's murder mysteries and stuff, right? The game is developed by I can't remember the name of the studio. Damn it, I think it's Moon something. God damn it, I'm totally useless. Monkey Moon, that's it. Monkey Moon. There's two basically teams that are working on the game, and it's published by Raw Fury. I gotta thank the guys at Raw Fury who sent me over a key so I could play this today on launch day. The game, mind you, the game also is part of Game Pass. This is one of the titles that were part of the Idea Xbox program. So as of today, I'm not sure if it is already or what time today, but today the game is being added to Game Pass, and that also includes the PC version. So if you've got Game Pass for Xbox or Game Pass for PC, you better play this for Game Pass today. And that is very, very cool for, like, you know, games that are not Microsoft based. Release on Game Pass. So right, 5 save slots. We'll pick number 3. I don't know why I always pick save slot number 3. It's like a lucky number, I guess. Right, let's go. I mean, the graphics have got this sort of like comic book sort of look, right? Use investigation. All right. So we got the judge, the angel of death, the Sandman. Victims all have something in common, and the motives seem clear, but which suspect could have done it? Balanced case, perfect for the first run. Random victim, unknown motive, weird case, slightly more difficult. Victims may feel random at first, but there's a connection, yet the motives may be hard to find. Or we got surprise investigation, game will randomly pick an unsolved investigation. Or game will randomly pick an investigation no matter if solved or unsolved. We'll go with this one first. The one it says is the one that's better for a first run. The judge. So, story. Money will be easy to get. The investigation will be easier. Every piece of action takes less time for a chiller experience. The way it was designed, and you got money is tighter. We'll go with balance. We'll play it on normal mode, which is the game the way that they intended. And we'll see how that goes, right? But multiple different things to solve. Monkey Moving and Black Muffin Studio, yes. That's the developers. Wait, is that us? Have we got a beard? Have I got a beard? Oh, is there someone following him? We're witnessing the murder. Right, doctor. Okay. Here? Sir, can you hear me, or do I need to speak up? Oh, fine. He takes a deep breath. Sir, you just spent 2 weeks in a coma. Ooh. The words bounce off your head, you need a moment to understand the meaning. Coma? The word scratches along your throat. Yes, you are a victim of an assault. The word resonates in your head. Victim. Okay, so yeah, when we sort of seen at the beginning, someone was following him. He got out of the cab, lit a cigarette. Someone was following him. He probably bashed him around the head or something. He's knocked him out. You're awake. You're aware a serial killer is currently on loose in Paris. You're constant your stomach crawling up your throat. The judge, as the police called a killer, assaulted you. The bullet touched your liver, and in most circumstances, it would have been fatal. We chose to put you on in an induced coma. Her voice becomes silent and fades. You taste bile at the back of your mouth, your head is burning, you hear a whistling in one ear. Your fingers move to your wound. Underneath the bandage you can feel hard skin, but it's incredibly painful. Did they catch the judge? No. What about my passenger? He was dead before you even got out. Before you even got out of your cab. Ooh. Doctor is silent for a second, a very awkward second. The police would like to see you as soon as you're possible to ask some questions. After all, you're the only one who survived the judge. Noise in the hallway attracts your attention. You try to turn your head to no avail. You need to rest. Right. She leaves the room. Her voice resonates in the hallway. I don't care, he's the only witness. He's... Another female voice joins, a strong, authoritarian voice. That's probably the cop, right? A strange feeling washes over you. It's not pain, not fatigue, some odd combination of the two. Before being in this hospital room, you'd never realised that anger was made up of a combination of pain and exhaustion. Anger, a feeling you know too well. Days go by, and a month later... A month? Oh, I guess we're out of the hospital now. Okay, so... Boss, look, I got a bit of a problem. A real problem, that is. You have a pounding headache at your first night back up at the wheel since... Okay, so we're out of hospital now. We're back on the night call. CSI. Hey, you're listening to me. You catch your boss's eye in a rearview mirror. Sorry. I just want things to go back to normal, to clear my head, to stop thinking about it all. He's watching you closely, trying to make out what's going on in your head. You know, I'm worried about you. I know. You're like a son to me, you know. And you know he's about to tell you the story of his taxi fleet again. When my father died and left me the store, I could have sold it. I could have retired, going back to the old country. Let him go on. It's not wise to interrupt your boss, right? But I decided to start a cab fleet with the money he left me to hire the guys from the neighborhood. And that's why I've got 45 guys like you working for me. His hands flutter in the air. Oh, none of them are any match for you. Ooh. He smiles, his voice suddenly takes a serious note. Do you want me to go over everything again? He points to the equipment on the dashboard, the meter, the GPS. You haven't been in a taxi for weeks, maybe you should get a little refresher. Yeah, so it's obviously a little bit of a tutorial mode. Obviously you've been in a coma, so you get the story reasons for him to tell you how to drive a taxi. Right then, well, first of all, you spot potential customers and try to guess where they'll be going. Then you decide when a customer orders a taxi, if there's no one else around, you have to go pick them up. That's the way it goes. It's business. No problem. The other fares, you look at the map and decide whether or not you want to take them. And then you drive. That's just a quick mechanical smile. You know it well. When he talks about work, he talks about work. When you're shifted over, we do the numbers, and his voice trails off. And that's all. It's pretty simple. There's no reason why you can't do it. So basically, you pick up a fare, you take him somewhere. That's it. Alright, no overtime. We're in France here, and there are rules, regulations. You might not see it that way, but no one likes having a driver who hasn't slept for 24 hours. He looks away. Something's been bothering him since he got into the cab. Anyhow, you know the ropes, you get it. I know you're going to do a fine job. What's the matter? I don't think it's a good idea. You shouldn't be driving. The murderer's still out there, and we think he's going to come back for you. Ooh. He doesn't know who I am. He could have seen your face. The police are positive he didn't. He attacked from behind. I fell to the ground and he took off. Your eyes lock. He holds your gaze. He wants to believe you. He'll be on your side. Anyway, I'll let you get back to work. Right, let's do it. Every minute spent in your taxi is a minute lost. He gives you a smile, half ironic, half serious. Have a good evening. Right, you have a good evening too. You spend the rest of his night dealing with problems and drivers. You wonder how and when the guy ever gets any sleep. Right, he opens the door of the cab. You watch him cross the street and into the fleet garage. A couple of colleagues are milling about. Taxis are coming and going. They all ignore you, consciously and or unconsciously. You are branded. You sit there for a moment and turn the key. Let's go! How many engine sends a tingle down your spine? It's impossible to describe how you missed that feeling. What, just starting an engine? Right, back on a night shift! Despite the attack, despite it all. Okay, so these are potential clients, I guess, right? He's close, this is good him. Oh, we don't see any, I'm guessing we're going to see other cabs on the street. We've got fuel as well, so... Alright, so 5.6 kilometers, he wants to go to the Plain Saint Denis. Alright, then, let's just go. A passenger climbs into the cab and slams the door behind him. Good evening. Plain Saint Denis, please. Start short, visibly sizing you up. You know where it is? Yes. Avenue des Magasins General, you know the street? Sure. Of course, the game knows the street, so we're going to know, right? You look at it, he looks at you intently. You know all the streets of Paris? He questions, drips with disbelief. You know his kind world, a sort who you refer to as the Arab, and not bat an eyelid. So I wonder if you actually have to find a place or whether the game's automatically going to drive you down. I do, much you. He seems hesitant. Hold on, let's go. You start the cab. The client stares at the window as if hypnotized. Oh yeah, we're driving automatically, right? You watch him in the rearview mirror. His face is familiar to you, his accent too, though you never be able to place it. Typical of a rural region, central France, perhaps. You take another look. That's it, you got it! He was a contestant on one of those reality shows where farmers meet women. Ooh! If you've seen him on a show a few weeks before, you'd watched it from your hospital bed with a distracted eye. But something about it had bothered you. The show was a masquerade. Life in the country seen from a very Parisian and cynical perspective. Full of scorn and contempt. Okay then, you figured out who I am. His remark and his accent bring you back to the present. Sorry? You recognize me, right? So you can make fun of me now? Make fun of you? Yeah, like all those other people do out there on that Tweety thing. The Tweety thing! Hello, German Marine, and thank you for your bits. Tweety? Sounds like for a second he realised he's talking about social media. Make fun of you? Oh yeah, go and have a good laugh. It's free, right? Why shouldn't you? Have a laugh at my expense. That's all I'm good for, right? His eyes meet yours and his voice faltering. He sighs heavily, then shakes his shoulders. He goes on staring at you for a while and then seems to calm down. Sorry. It's a living hell. Imagine what I'm going through. It's a nightmare. 3 months ago I was a contestant on this stupid show, Fields of Love. Well, I said yes because my wife had been dead for 25 years. I've been all alone ever since, just me and cows and udders. Ooh. Wait, he's made that sound very sexual. The show was aired like a month ago. At first it was fine, friends called, we had a good laugh and all. And then I found out the internet is laughing at me too. There are those things, I can't remember what they're called. Moms, mams, mims, you know, those pictures, memes that move all by themselves on the internet. Oh man, he got memed. I have no idea what he's talking about. What not? So I made myself a Tweety account to go and see what they're saying about me. Calling me a virgin and a Nazi, and then I screw my cows. Well, you did smile when you talked about your cow's udders. I looked away as if someone else had spoken the words. They practically died laughing. A farmer who isn't one of my descendants. Yesterday, I said I'd have had it. I called my cousin to keep an eye on my farm and I left for Paris. On my way, I see those TV jokers right now. 6 months ago, they said if there was a problem whatsoever, they'd take care of it. Well, there is a problem. His anger has subsided somewhat. His face is returning to its normal colour. His normal colour of white. What are you going to do? What's your plan? So what he's going to do? What do you think they're going to do? They're going to have all these jokes deleted right away. I don't want to see my face glued to these pictures of freaks who do cows. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. That's not how the internet works, mate. It's disgusting. Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet. I don't think they can do that. He gives an energetic nod of his head. And believe me, they're going to listen. I may just be a plain old farmer, but nobody's going to disrespect me. He squares his shoulders as to fend off the attacks. Forget it. His eyes half closed, he practically growls the words. There is a palpable air of sadness about him. At first, I told him I didn't want to be on their stupid show. It wasn't for me. But they insisted. They showed me pictures of the women. And then when I said yes, it should have never been said yes. You pull up the address he gave you. The studio gates are still closed. You park the cab and cut the engine. Is it closed? Yes. It doesn't open till 6. You point at a sign, post it on the gates. But there'll be a hardline on here before 9 or 10 o'clock. I don't care, I'll wait. He rummages through his pockets and pulls out a wallet. Should we ask him? Let's ask him what he's going to ask him. What are you going to ask him? I want him to apologise on TV during the show in front of everyone. To talk about all the things they changed, all the bits, the sentences they cut up and put back together. Fixes his gaze on you. You know, I'm not racist. Don't believe the show. I didn't mean what I said, and I didn't really say that stuff either. He's not racist. He loves his cows. What exactly did you say? Stop short. Nothing. Avoid your gaze. A lot of nonsense. Okay. I'm not very good at this. I've been... Wait. Why are we still driving? We've stopped. Yeah, I'll just wait here until it opens. Okay. Jeez, he pays for his fare and exits. You watch him for a minute and he starts his vision in front of the gates. Whoa. You notice a newspaper in the back seat. Your passenger must have left it behind, or the one before. You grab it and put it away. It could come in handy. And you start the cab back to the grind. So we made 18 euros profit. Ka-ching! Alright, so near us we've got what's the time? It's like 22:11, right? Let's go. We've got this young lady out on our own in Paris at night. We'll go pick up her, shall we? She's the closest. Grace! She wants to go to Ivry. 32 euros, so 12 kilometers. Holy shit, that's totally other side of Paris. Go. Next passenger guest has been crying. Oh dear. It's going to be one of those rides, isn't it? He says at the floor and gives you an address in the nearby suburbs. Is this like the ride of shame? You just start driving when a telephone rings. Yes? There's a pause. Her tone is sharp and curt. I'm on my way home right now. Yes. Another pause. I took a taxi. On the other end, the voice gets louder. Who's paying? Well, I am. I don't want to take the bus home tonight. Come on, lay off. A new round of criticism begins. Look, can you just lay off? We'll talk about it when I get back. She's having a fight with her other half. Goes the phone away from her ear, ready to hang up, then pulls it back. Yes, I'm here. She finally glanced at you. There's no need to scream. I can hear you. I told you. We'll talk about it when I get home. Oh dear. We're about to enter a tunnel, miss. He smiles. Whoa. The tunnel will probably get a cut off the reception, right? No, that was the driver saying we're about to be cut off. He seems normal. Mom, okay, it's a mom. It's not a partner. Okay. I said it's break. He hangs up. Thank you. He has a ring the same tune as before. The young woman hesitates, turns the phone over in her hand, and decides not to answer. Sorry. I know that tune. Her face lights up. It's like made by Leo and Delibes. When he gave a performance with his music, after hearing it so much, I just totally fell in love with it. It's an incredible soft piece. It's in the opera. It comes from the priestess Lakme and one of our companions go to have a jasmine in a temple, and you sense the love between the characters. And it's mutual. The two women sing, and their words are very similar but not identical. Ooh. Sing? Oh, I'm a dancer. Classical, jazz, and other types of combinations. I've danced since I was a little girl, but I've been dancing even more these last few years. I love it. A friend and I put our own choreography up to a few scenes of the Lakme opera once we did a show. It was really exciting. A smile appears on her face, seems to have erased the tears. And thanks for earlier, by the way. I missed that last metro, and to be honest, I really didn't want to go home. My mother is waiting to have a long, very long discussion about my future, my career, all the sacrifices she's made for me. Well, she's a cleaning woman in one of the fancy buildings at the La Defense, and I failed to my bar exam, so she thinks. She stopped herself. She thinks I'll end up a cleaning woman at La Defense. The passenger thinks I dance too much. She thinks it's Lakme's fault. Well, what? Dancing is in Pole? I think it's more classical dance, FFG. And hello. Mostly she thinks it's my fault. I studied and worked hard, but I didn't pass. She was trying to be a lawyer, but she failed. She failed the exam. I just don't believe in that all anymore. Now, be warned, what I'm about to say will sound cliche, but I want to be a dancer, not a lawyer. My mother doesn't understand. You must work to earn money in order to succeed. Sorry, I didn't mean to unload on you. I must seem like a pretentious little princess. Not at all. Thanks for lying. The dress she gave you is not much farther. I mean, I know I owe my mother a lot. I have to stop being so self-centered, blah 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 blah. I have to pass this fucking exam. She clicks her tongue as if to force herself to stop talking. Instead, she keeps going. Mind you, she came to my Lakme performance. She pauses, trying to find the words. She saw me dance, and when we left, it was kind of dumb, but she didn't say a single word. And I think I've never felt prouder. Her silence spoke 1,000 words. You pull up to her house. She takes time getting out of the car. I didn't know why I said all that, but it felt really good. Thank you. See, people like to talk to a cabbie, right? I guess. Hey, look, 35 euros. We got a €3 tip. Nice. That's not bad, is it? That is not bad at all. Let's go. The door suddenly opens and a woman gets into the back seat. Ooh. Having a good night? For a second, you freeze. It's one of the cops working on a judge's case. Oh, it's a cop. She grins at you. Her voice creaks. You remember seeing her at the hospital. You know, it's actually pretty crazy. For weeks, I've been saying to myself, there's something about you, something not so nice. I dug around, mulled it over, bugged all my fellow cops about you. Because I was sure you lied to us. I didn't lie. Oh, well, I'll keep going. There's a cold sneer on her face. I'm going to be frank with you. I don't think you're the judge. No, I just can't be true. She squints like she's trying to make you out from afar. Like if you'd have gone to the extent of hurting yourself. Between us, it's a bit of a stretch. She stares at you. But not enough of a stretch for my chief to stop going on and on about you. Seriously, he talks about you all the time. If I didn't know better, I'd think he had a crush on you. I think I'm more interested in your profile. I'm in prison at 17. Uh-oh. And for murder, too. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out. Since you got out, you've kept a low profile, but you're lying about your name and your address. I checked. It's normal, you'd say, if they get word about your time served, no loan for your permit, no lease on your car, meaning no second chance at life. Your voice becomes softer. I personally like guys who want a second chance. No, I like guys who fight for a second chance. Basically, I like guys who are willing to work for me. Okay. She leans forward, her shining cat-like eyes narrowing. She's going to ask us to try to help find this killer, right? My chief wants to go to the prosecutor with a first and last name with evidence. Actually, knowing him, he's not so hot on evidence. I'll give you info, victim, suspects, medical reports, some photos that are a bit. You have to keep it discreet between you and me. Interrogate, ask questions, dig around. Okay, so basically she's saying she's going to give us information about potential suspects and stuff and witnesses, and she wants. So we're obviously going to be going and picking them up in our cab and asking them questions to try to find out clues about this killer. That's kind of neat. I've never done this. She shrugs. Don't worry, you've already keener than half the squad. And don't forget, I'm not asking you to make an arrest or deliver the killer wrapped up with a bow. You're no Batman, you're just there to get me information. Okay. You're rummaging around in the pockets, what it seems like forever. Take my car. I'll call you in 3 or 4 days just to check in. We'll chat. And I'll let you know if I have any new info. Takes on a didactic, paternalistic tone, like she was giving you a list of recommendations for the 100th time. Don't get caught, don't get arrested. Also, I wouldn't recommend trying to leave Paris. I know what you look like, and I know who your friends are. You can either be the solution or the problem, I've read. Okay. If I have to, I'll go check on you-know-who. Who? Her smile is biting. That reminds me. She knows you've done time. You shake your head. Oh, my little dirtbag, you cover your tracks well. What? I did what I could. If you say so. Don't try to mess with me, man. If things don't go well, I'll turn you in. I'll send your picture to all my friends in the media, and every asshole in Paris, your picture will, with your real name on it. Anyone close to you will have their places searched, and they'll be put under a house arrest, spend nights in jail. It's a bit of a bitch, right? You have no idea how things are with that fucker's trial underway. You sigh. Come to think of it, your last names are almost the same. You could be brothers, actually. I'm nothing like that son of a bitch. She smiles. Let me tell you, with that face of yours and your handle, they will welcome you with open arms. You have no right. I know, we have no right. I want to catch the killer personally. I want to drag him to court, ruin his life with a bang. I can't botch this case. You got me, and neither can you. Nope. Well, great then. We'll see eye to eye. You can say you'd just have to say you're my informant, my CI. He ripped open your guts. You saw your own inside. You're in a coma. You have plenty of reasons to want to get back at him. That's right. I think you're actually going to do what I tell you to do. You investigate, ask questions, listen to all the rumors, and you come up with a list of suspects. Alright, don't forget. And don't get fired. Without this cab, you're worth nothing to me. He glares at her. Look, bitch, we'll say nothing. We'll be nice. She puts her hand up, and you can hear her voice behind it. This conversation never happened. I'll make sure to get you more until tomorrow. I'll find a way. Until then, not a word to anyone, obviously. Okay. She gets out the door. Look, bitch. Oh, he said it when she left. You sit alone for a while, teeth clenched, dry-eyed, ears buzzing. Shit. On the back seat, the cop left a pile of papers. Shit. Key in ignition, motor running, radio on. You turn it off and start driving. Okay, so this is probably their clues. Okay. Talking to passengers, you might unlock new documents and clues for your investigation. You will find them on back at the studio after your shift. Alright, we've got 6 clues discovered from the papers she left behind us. Okay, so he's gone back home. That was a short night of work though. We only had 2 deliveries, right? We only delivered 2 passengers. He's putting all the clues up on a board. You take a second to enjoy the silence of your studio apartment. Outside the city is slowly waking up. You can still hear the hum of the taxi. You throw the files Bissig if you're on the table. On the wall you hang up the big cardboard where you used to pin up photos of your nephews. They've been gone since you got out of. You plan to. It's simple, jot down a piece of evidence and connect them to the suspects. A guilty party won't necessarily be the one with the most evidence against them, but the one with the most compelling evidence. It's like you're building a story about each suspect, trying to understand their motives, understand how he or she got into the situation. I reckon it's that one, because he looks dodgy. You suddenly overcome with desire to sleep. You close your eyes, press your fingers on your eyelids and let out a yawn. You crack your knuckles and get to work. Right, so. We got 3 suspects. We got Piero Bataz. Okay, I guess middle button is kind of tagging him as probably not being a suspect. So here's a cop, 1.70 m. My dad was a cop. Died 2 years ago. Mom got health issues after a Richterdin health scandal. Gay in a relationship, never disclosed this information at work. We got Hervé, who is slightly taller. He is homeless man with unknown background. Briefly worked for Charles Beaugrand, the second victim in the 90s. Got health issues after Richterdin health scandal. So both of them have got connections to the Richterdin. Couple of arrests for breaking and entering. We got Claudia, who's a medical examiner. Escaped from Argentina when she was young. Lost her parents. The Argentinian junta, the process. We got Paula Marie, retired cop. Joined the police in '77. Discovered, divorced from a judge. Born in the French Antilles, moved to mainland France. I wonder what his. Why they, wonder why these specific people wish. I guess when we look at it a little bit, info she's got down below, right? So we got Salim, who's a well-known lawyer, defender of the Duar case, defender of several molested kids in poor neighborhoods, was promising football player. So we got a lawyer, we got an ex-cop, we got a medical examiner, we got a homeless man, and we got a current cop. There are 5 suspects. Evidence, we got autopsy report, victim 3 and 4, and we got the killer case. I guess this down the bottom is probably it's showing us 3 of 6 documents, right? So if we use the mouse, yeah, oh, we go. There's the other 3. So we got six pieces of evidence that we got. Picture of the crime scene 3, picture of crime scene 2, picture of crime scene 1. Wait, new clue? How do we? I don't get it. Alright. Killer case. All no clues. Wait, is that putting stuff up here? Ah, okay, yeah, okay. It's putting stuff up here. As it's yes, I thought we were actually going to look. We might look through this, and it will show the documents. You got to sort them out, but it's not. So as you're looking through it, it's and notice the time. It's like 3 a.m. now. So see how long it takes to investigate this. So like, yeah, it's okay. So it shows you the time. So if time is 3:01, if I investigate this, it's going to take 1 hour and 15 minutes. This one is like only 45 minutes. So 45 minutes to investigate a picture, and 1 hour and 15 minutes to investigate the autopsy report. We're going to look at the autopsy report, right? This is important. We're going to do all of them for now, and then we'll look at the clues. Because I guess you got to go until the maybe when the white bar drops down. Because you're not on night shift, right? So we're going to sleep once day starts. So once this bar is gone, that's when we're going to sleep, right? Maybe. Okay, so what we got? Alright, so what the hell are we doing here then? I don't get it. I mean, I wonder if the game auto linked them. So you got Salim up here, right? So he's got 2 pieces of evidence linked to him. Message on crime scene 2. I don't know. Source cop. We don't actually see what the evidence is to, right? I mean, you can move it. I guess you can probably link it to someone else, maybe. I don't know. Can you? No, you can't. So this one here, the killer's height is less than 180. So all of them could potentially be. All of them fit the profile of being the killer, right? So autopsy report 3. There's no sign of violence on report 3. So that's not linked to anything. Killer case, death execution. We'll put these ones down here that are not linked to anything specific. We got victims killed with 1 bullet in the neck. So I mean, you could tag them off to lose them so they're not actual evidence, right? We got killer knew the victims or research them. Okay. Right, so we'll put these. So these are potential bits of information we're looking for. That one's really got nothing. So as far as the killer knew or researched the victims, execution style deaths, which were like 1 bullet in the neck. Right, we got one more here that's not linked specifically to. Killer left messages in chalk on the first 3 crimes. Right, so other than that, we got all of the killer's height is less than 1.80 m. Message on the second crime scene. So this clue is linked to the first 2. Is a message that says you don't deserve this on the first 2 crimes. So what? The thing I don't get is why is this linked to those 2? You know what I mean? It's like what is linking that to them? I mean, this is self-explanatory, right? The killer's height is all less than 180, and you can see it shows their height. They're all less than 180. But this, why is that linked to those 2? Time is up, and why is that picture linked to her? You know, there's got to be something more that we're not seeing. Or maybe it's automatically linking it, but you don't actually. I want to see the evidence, right? Right. So, also report number 3. A rare gun was used. It was a gun from the 70s. There was a rare gun that was used in the 70s. Was the report for that one? Was the so because he is the only one old enough, I guess, to potentially be around in the 70s. That is tied to him because he's the older gentleman. These others, they would have been too young in the 70s to be part of it. So if to own a gun from, unless they bought it, they might have just bought a gun. How can you link? You can't link clues to other victims. All right. I still don't know how the clues get attached to each person. But we'll start the next day and we'll see what happens. I guess when we're taking people's rides, we might try to get some more info. Maybe it's going to start questioning them about the crimes, or ask them what they think about it and see what we find. Right. Let's go. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You slowly open the sofa bed and lie down. Sofa bed? Events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. You gonna doze off? Is he gonna doze off while holding a cigarette? Because that's dangerous, right? You open one eye. For a second there, you hope the evidence board was just a dream. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Right, night 2. Now, we don't quite need fuel yet. No newspaper available. We got to listen to the radio, but so I guess we do have a Oh, this icon here is obviously must be a clue, right?
I was hoping you'd beep 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 beep. Thanks again.
Rex, thank you for follow. This one must obviously be a clue. Because that may well be a clue about what we're. Maybe we should go and see what that one is first. Let's click on that and see what that is first. I put radio on. Your finger is poised over the car radio. You're trying to find something to listen to. Listen to the news. Let's do it. A crime novelist being interviewed about his latest book comes up to the judge. He's quick to say that, according to his sources, the first victim owed money to the mafia. And actually, he thinks the whole case is linked to organised crime. Okay. The judge is the front for real criminals. Okay, 2 clues. As soon as the news is over, you turn off the radio so the cab is silent again. Right, we got 2 clues from that though. I don't get it though. We didn't even get there. Let's try to get there though. Let's try to get to that location, see what's there. You park a few streets away from the Argentinian embassy. You wait there for your contact. You sigh. Seems to have you have contact. So excessive. The guy is one of your regular poker buddies. You get out of your taxi and walk towards the big metal gate. Clean lines. Early 20th century. Maybe lots of wrought iron. The gate opens and someone moves towards you. Hello, Miss Candela. They indicate you should follow them. The person's face is hidden by an oversized hoodie. Your heart starts to beat faster. What if it was... Who are you? It's me, Joe. You're David's buddy. You immediately recognize his accent. You don't feel like you're in any danger and decide to follow him. Walk into a narrow passage, probably the entrance to a parking garage. The man turns around and lights up a cigarette. The lighter lights up his face, and for a second a young man with curly hair, pale skin. He looks young, very young. That'll be 250 euros. For what? What? You want information on Gorodajir? I got info for... It cost you 250 euros. Okay, so one of our people, one of our suspects is Argentinian. This is probably information on her, right? It's not horror. It's like murder. It's like a murder mystery. Miss Canada, you're kind of a taxi driver working a night shift, and you're trying to piece together. You're trying to catch a serial killer, basically. Should we do it? Let's try to bargain with him. He raises his hands to his chest. His accent becomes stronger. 250 euros or nothing. We got 382. Let's try to find her. We'll pay it and see what sort of thing we get. Right. Let's do it. We still got a little bit of money. We need to start doing some jobs now, right? So now we know the eye icon on the map is someone wanting to give you info that you're probably going to pay for. I mean, you're not specifically a detective. But basically, it looks like you are someone. You're a victim to this crime, and you are the only person that survived this serial killer. One of the cops on the case is asking you to try to find a bit of intel from like passengers you might. Listen out for clues from passengers you might pick up to try to help get the killer. Because they think the killer's going to come back after us because we're the only person to survive this killer. Listen up, because I'm not going to say it twice. Right, so we see what information he gave us. We paid 250 for this. So Gorodajir is definitely a colonel from the junta, one of the few who wasn't arrested and put on trial. Okay. He's responsible for torturing dozens of political opponents. He tortured and killed them. We didn't like him much here, but the rich Argentinians in Paris love him. They really respect him. Respected him. So I think he must be one of the victims. Yeah, if it makes you happy. He looks back at you. There's one last thing. I read in a newspaper that the killer wrote a message in chalk, "Time's up." It was a slogan at the end of the junta. Oh, a sort of watchword for the opponents. It was time for them to go. You get it? You don't. A second later, you're back in your taxi with a hole in your wallet. So we gotta do some jobs now to get some money. Okay. Right. So basically, you can drive around the city, go pick up a job. So let's go pick up her. He looks closest. He looks sad. Hello, Seafoot. A group of teens in front of the kebab point, noisy and in good spirits. They seem happy. Right, so Alicia Gloves. Your poetry needs a car ride. Okay, so 20 euros, still money, right? It's going to be midnight. 41 to it. Yeah. When we're getting your cab looks frantic. I've lost my inspiration, every last drop of it. Drive. You throw her a skeptical look. So she's a poet, and she wants to drive around to give her inspiration. Alright. So waiting for the game? I think it's supposed to be on. It's supposed to hit gamepass sometime today, right? They always do this stuff probably on US times, but it did say, and they tweeted out it's 17th, but I don't know when. And hello, Rumbers. I mean, you say it feels like a graphic novel. I mean, it's kind of like it's a murder mystery, but there's a lot of tech. So in that way, probably a visual novel. Maybe it has that sort of feel to it with the amount of reading you're doing. It's not bad, Ramblers. We're just getting into the investigative part of it. I tell you when to stop. I'm seeing a stream dead a billabong. What? A billabong. Billabong. I must find a billabong. You have an address. An address? How terribly conventional. This time, ask the sea to slow down its waves. What? A billabong, a dead river. There's one right below us. Drive, I say. Okay. A few minutes go by before you realise your passenger is making a guttural sound. The sound resonates with a hum of the engine. Once in a while, she changes notes, modulating and playing the harmonic. Suddenly, she shouts, turn left. This woman's mad. You then abruptly, as if he was following a path she alone could see. Go down the boulevard. You drive for a few minutes aimlessly. In the back, the passenger is still singing. The meter is running, and the kind of ride that puts you out of sorts. Who knows when it will end? Your passenger squeals. Stop right here! Not a bit further. You brake. Yes! It whistles a high, loud note. The billabong runs just beneath us. The water flows no more. The black stream from my vagina has stopped short. What? Where is this going? The rumble of revolution, the waters flows no more. All that remains is to clear away the remains. The fuck is this woman on? You stop the engine. Silence fills the cab. Your passenger's low voice and the scratch of a pencil on the paper are hypnotizing. How many rivers have run dry? The water has left its bed and flows no more. How I long to sculpt the clay and the mud of life in this water that flows no longer. Except the metro doesn't run this late. I plunge my cars in the water and flows no longer. I am calmed and refreshed by its coolness. He squeals so loudly it makes you jump, and returns to a simpler, more natural tone. Thank you. The poem has been years in the making. I was only missing a few lines until tonight. I sensed the billabong I needed while walking the street like a charon. A muse. She opens her eyes. You. When you're driving alone at night like this, what moves you the most? Wait, what? Dark places where all Doki Doki leads probably, a lot of people who don't sleep. Yeah, we'll do that. It's amazing. The sun goes down and the night crawlers, night walkers come out. What an idea. He scribbles a few words in the air. I turn a few steps back above the water that flows no longer. The air continues to pulsate. Your voice shares a resonance with Arctic calcite. You don't know how to respond. Yes, that's it. With Arctic calcite. Okay. A second later, she left the cab. And we get paid. I knew I would find more inspiration on the path of the billabong. Your colour is marble. Arctic calcite. Never forget this. Okay. We are paid. We had 22 euros. It's... That was pretty shit, wasn't it? That was pretty shit. So, okay. So we got this shady looking dude that's right next to us. Who's gonna see this shady dude? Is she in ramen? I have no idea. Our next passenger enters and slams the door. Oh. Wait, that's not a person that we was going towards? Some random person just jumped in. Good evening. Good evening, are you kidding? That's how you want to start? We know each other. Give you a sour laugh. Don't play innocent with me. If I were to say to you... October 27th. That's the date, the night of the attack. Could this woman be the judge? 10:46 p.m. Oh, that took place later. Does that ring a bell? You nod your head. Answer. Yes, it does, miss. Don't you miss me? Not another word. He waggles her accusing finger. Who is this? Last October 27th. You were in this very cab driving a fare and you committed a crime. What? That's right, sir, a crime! What? I spent the whole day working like an idiot for that rotten newspaper. Do you have any idea what I do for a living? I'm a sub-editor, Mr. Taxi Driver. I correct mistakes that a bunch of moron journalists make. Okay. There isn't a single one, not one, who knows how to write a proper sentence. Okay. I've had it, really had it, and on that night, you cut me off. Whoa, what? I almost died that night. Trying so teeth. I crashed my car, my boyfriend's car that is. The same guy who made yet another comment about women drivers. The neighbours called the police that night. I made such a scene. To think the guy dares to call himself a feminist. Okay, she crashed, and it was our fault apparently. I don't think so. He pauses for dramatic effect. Or just let it go on. The voice suddenly noticeably quieter. The next day, no more boyfriend, no more car. I messed up a job interview with a major news outlet, a paper where people know how to write, where they follow basic rules. Imagine just for a minute I could have stopped correcting copy for a bunch of morons. Takes a deep breath. But all because of you, because of your cab, everything changed. Okay. My life has never been the same since. Her voice is bursting with fury and hatred. Forced to live with my mother while I went apartment hunting in this rotten city where tiny studios cost an arm and a leg. Where's Paris? It's expensive. So I started looking for you. The back of your neck breaks into a sweat. Okay, what is she going to do? I started to ask around. I bribed one of your colleagues into giving me your number. A droplet of sweat started sliding down your back. And I found your address, your first one that is. You shiver as the drop reaches your boxes. Ooh. But that's your business. What matters is I did eventually get your address, a real one. At first, I admit I was planning on going to your place. Just maybe to spit in your face or something like that. And then I thought to myself, no, maybe this guy deserves a chance, you never know. So you're going to apologize. Go on, give it your all. Take your time. Take a deep breath. She breathes in deeply. Like that. Tell her that we were attacked that night. I'm sorry, but I don't remember that night. I remember all enough, huh? No, I've forgotten what happened that night. A few minutes after I met you, I was attacked. Attacked by the judge, the serial killer. It's you survived. Yes. Those two conflicting feelings flicker across her face. And she falls back against the car seat, all her anger somehow gone. I didn't know. The police wanted to keep it all a secret. I didn't see the killer's face, and he didn't see mine, for my own protection, for my peace of mind. Now we've told her, someone who works for a newspaper, that we are the survivor. The newspaper where I work, and they're looking for you. We have to report are looking for you. The last few months have been difficult for you. Very, really difficult. So that means the newspaper probably know who we are now. Do you say sorry? Let's say sorry. I'm still sorry. Even if I don't remember anything, even though I was attacked, it doesn't change anything about... You can't find the right words. Passengers arrived in Paris, a tourist heading to Mauritius or something. And your cigarettes, cheap packs of a beer, a little radio next to your bed. Your passenger clears her throat. Thanks. All her anger is evaporated. My boyfriend was a jerk anyhow, and in this job, maybe it wasn't so great. I tend to get all worked up about things. Yeah, you think? And sometimes I take things a little too far. In Paris, I guess we are quick to forget about being nice to each other, about being polite. And for a taxi driver, you're a real sweetheart. Yay! She gives you a short laugh. This is what I suggest. I'm going to exit the cab. I'm going to go for a little walk in the cold and get my mind off things. And then when I get home, I'll destroy all the information I have on you. Is that okay with you? Yes. Thank you. The word echoes for a minute through the taxi. Your passenger reaches for the door. I don't think she's gonna forget. Although if I'd like to share a lot of info, I don't know, it's supposed to be, the writing's supposed to be very interesting. And tackle lots of interesting and sensitive subjects. So I'm kind of curious, where it goes, right? You briefly try to remember that night. Nothing but a vague impression of something behind you, the killer silhouette. You shake your head. There's nothing more than before. If only you had turned around, everything would have been easier. If you'd have seen his face, he probably wouldn't have left you alive, right? He would have made sure you were dead. Right, so we've got to make some monies. The dude we was going to is no longer there, so there's no newspaper to look at. We can turn the radio back on. We can listen to the radio. We can spend half an hour listening to the radio rather than taking a job. Shall we? Let's do it. Should we listen to a talk show? We listen to the news. Let's listen to a talk show for half an hour. At night, you often happen upon the same show, a woman calling herself Lady Monique takes calls from all over France. People call her about their problems, the trivialities of their lives. Okay. This might be a bit odd. You like the show, the callers remind you of yourself. Okay, let's try to tune into the show. What's she got this time? The current caller has no doubt the judge's victims were wealthy. He uses the first victim as an example, an excellent soccer coach with a long career ahead of him. A few seconds later, Lady Monique takes a caller who changes the subject completely. You turn off the radio and find yourself alone in the silence recap. Well, see, we got another clue though, right? So, or when you're listening to the stuff like that, you're getting clues to add to your board, right? Alright, so let's go over here. Metro Victor Hugo. Okay. 5k, 15 euros. Passenger gets into the cab and gives you an address. Her voice is muted. You start up the cab. Okay. Clues! Yeah. So this is only night 2. The first night was pretty much tutorial night. This is the first night we're out getting any sort of clues. She appears rather meek, subdued, like she's about to fade away. You look up at her. She returns your gaze, but she's not there, as if you weren't looking at an actual person but a silhouette instead, in the shape of a human being. Would you like some music? Let's ask her. Music? He pauses. I don't know if you want. He breaks off again. What kind of music do you have? Whatever's on the radio. I never listen to the radio. I don't really know if what's any good. Maybe. He seems to be weighing our options. It's jazz? Nighttime? Passenger looks at you for a moment, clearly surprised. Jazz? Hesitates, thinks it over, and nods at last. Okay. You press the search for a jazz station and eventually find one. A droning trumpet, getting all worked up, accompanied by drums and bass. You never really understood jazz. It's funny, music like that is so impenetrable. Would you like me to change stations? No, it's fine. I like it. Okay. My thesis supervisor listens to a lot of jazz. With time, I begin to like it too. Your thesis? Yes. Turns out slightly and as if thinking about something unpleasant. What's the subject? The progressive runs of Ramsay Abbey at the dawn of the industrial era. Oh, something really exciting. The air in the cab seems icy. That's very specific. Extremely, too much so, no doubt. My field of research is terribly limited, and how should I put it? It's deadly boring, a subject that no one's interested in. My thesis supervisor for a start, my parents, my ex, and worst of all, even me. He stares at you. The subject is a trap. It's never been explored and it informs our perception of women in the 18th century, but no one is interested in it. That's how it goes. I get used to my thesis, to the subject. Doctoral theses are rarely interesting, you know, but mine, I think I've hit rock bottom. You shouldn't say that. So obviously this option here with a little smiley face, you're trying to cheer them up, right? I guess that's what that means. That's when you're trying to say something happy to cheer them up a little bit, right? I think. We'll try that one, right? You know, I don't need your pity. She speaks in like cool, clipped tones. I chose the path I'm on. I'm entirely accountable for it. He hesitantly lifts a hand. But I'm one of those who chose my thesis. Me and no one else. Oh. To be honest, it will no doubt be the only thing that remains of me when I die. Okay. What do your friends think? My boyfriend dumped me 3 months ago. He said I was spending too much time on my thesis. But the truth is, it was the thesis that was the problem. He thought it was stupid, a waste of time. He wasn't exactly a feminist. It was a pretty old-fashioned in a way. I knew it. I could see it coming. And my parents, how should I put it? My parents think. Her voice falters. It takes a few seconds to pluck up courage to speak. My parents think I've made a mess of my life. I know they do. They haven't said so, of course. They are there for me. They help me, but deep down, they know it's too late. The jazz number on the radio has become distinctly more aggressive. almost dissonant. You briefly consider turning down the volume and changing your mind. I'm 28. I'm doing a doctoral thesis on the 18th century nuns. My brothers went to the top business schools and earned MBAs. They're married, have children, and me, I'm compiling pages and pages of information on nuns. That sounds exciting. You pull up your passenger's address, an opulent-looking building in the 16th. Oh, it isn't. The young woman is perfectly still, seemingly paralysed. I'm very grateful to you for having tried to cheer me up. Without success, but I really appreciate you trying. That's nice. You believe that everyone has a purpose in life? She shrugs. I don't. She hands you the fare and exits without a word. Okay. A moment later, she's walking away, heading towards the building. You sit there for a moment longer and start your cab up. Hey, we got 16 euros, right?